Okay, so today I got two tourism articles from the US that I really wanted to show you. One of them talks about Canada being ready to welcome Americans again, and the other asks whether the US government should start marketing America to tourists again. Now, the US government, they should be doing a lot of things for its citizens, and tourism is just one small piece of a bigger picture that they keep ignoring. Then I have two news reports from the US cattle and farming industries. You know, the ones that Trump promised to make great again? Except at this point, it looks like the only country that he's making great is Argentina. Now today's backdrop comes from Rakesh, who took this photo on Paradise Ridge near Panorama in British Columbia. What a great vantage point for this photo. Thanks for sending this in, Rakesh. Alright, let's get to the first report.
President Donald Trump is encouraging cattle ranchers to get their prices down amid an ongoing tariff battle. A Local 5's Larissa Leone spoke to an Iowa cattle rancher on his response to Trump's plans to lower prices for consumers.
From the White House to the farmhouse, there is a lot of chatter about U.S. beef prices. In a post to Truth Social, President Trump telling American cattle ranchers they, quote, have to get their prices down, citing the tariffs he's enacted are, quote, the only reason they are doing so well.
Wow, talk about gaslighting your own citizens. This is another industry that overwhelmingly supported Donald Trump during the 2024 election. And now they're finally realizing, oh shit, he lied to us. Or as Pete Hegseth once said,
F-A-F-O.
Now these cattle farmers can go reach out to the soybean farmers and start their own little support group called Those Who Trump Screwed Over.
For the first time in decades.
If this was a friend standing next to me, I'd be like, hey, clean it up. Let's think about this for a minute.
Over in Greene County, cattle rancher Justin Robbins said he'd love to have the opportunity to speak with the president about beef prices to explain what he says ranchers are dealing with, saying U.S. beef is at its highest demand. The local producers have the shortest cow numbers.
Trump was standing here. I would love to just ask him to truly realize that it's supply and demand that brought beef prices up.
Last week, President Trump suggested he would purchase beef from Argentina in an effort to lower prices.
Argentina again, probably the only one winning from all of this. This cattle rancher first gets his tax dollars sent to Argentina for a bailout. And now, the guy he probably most likely voted for is saying he's going to buy cattle from the same country that he just loaned his tax money to. Makes you wonder, how many other cattle farmers are starting to realize they made a mistake? Should have thought about this last November.
Iowa Cattlemen CEO Brian Haley says the president's remarks have a large pull on the industry, impacting ranchers all over the nation and here in Iowa.
Right now is a very critical time for our cattle producers in terms of the time period of the year. And that comments like that make a huge impact on the market.
Here's the question we all want the answer to. And who did you vote for? I couldn't find any information on who Brian voted for, so I'll give him the benefit of doubt.
And the volatility of the market.
Haley says he's concerned about the impact importing beef would have on the quality for consumers.
We want to make sure that the consumers here in the United States get a U.S. Born, raised, fed, processed, high quality beef that they have come to know and they enjoy on a regular basis.
Well, you better talk to your president about this, because he's the only one that's causing all of it. This report actually reminds me of how it all started with the soybean farmer's nightmare. First it was, hey, we're noticing something. Then it became, hey, we're noticing we can't sell to anyone. And finally, we had the best crops in decades. It's all going to waste. Now this next report, let's see where they're at now.
Today, despite the 23-day-old federal shutdown, the Farm Service Agency resumed core operations, including loan processing and payments. The reopening can't come soon enough for soybean farmers hurt hard by President Trump's tariffs. As CBS's Lana Zach reports from Iowa, the federal government is trying to give them $3 billion, but farmers say it's not enough.
It's not enough, says the same farmers who once shouted that socialism is bad. Funny how that works. These soybean farmers spent years saying the government shouldn't interfere, and now they're demanding help. They want the benefits of socialism without calling it socialism. You really can't have it both ways.
Just one of these silos in Polk City, Iowa holds about $50,000 worth of soybeans, but it should be worth a lot more. Soybeans are a huge business in the U.S., worth as much as $30 billion a year. But as a consequence of the trade war, the biggest importer, China, has completely stopped buying from U.S. farmers.
Farmers all across the state have had a challenging year.
Aaron Lehman is a fifth-generation family farmer and is also the head of the Iowa Farmers Union.
Is it worse than you expected?
Oh, it is. I don't know how many farmers who have approached me and said, you know, we thought that we would be having some trade tension, but we had no idea it would be this type of trade tension and this type of chaos.
Now, I couldn't find any data on Aaron on who he voted for, so I'll stay neutral on him for now. But to the other thousands of soybean farmers who did vote for Trump, you were so blind not to see this coming, and there's no one to blame but yourselves. You've already lost China, and potentially for good. They've moved to Argentina, who, by the way, has your tax money, and I think Brazil as well. But if this situation doesn't make you take a step back, think outside of your tribalism, and realize you voted based on lies, then honestly, you deserve every single bit of what's happening right now.
Last month, President Trump said he would use revenue generated by the tariffs to bail out American farmers. They were expecting around $13 billion, but the shutdown stalled the process indefinitely. Now the administration is only offering a quarter of that amount.
The current aid package that's being released right now is simply current Farm Bill policies that have been in existence for the life of this Farm Bill.
Going back to when?
Oh, we passed the last Farm Bill 8 years ago. This is not the help that we need to deal with this trade chaos.
Nah, the soybean farmers don't need a bailout. They made their stance on that pretty clear with their vote. But now they're going to get a quarter of the $13 billion that was promised. And to be blunt, it was expected. You were never going to get the full amount. Would this whole situation be easier if the trade markets were still open? I mean, Trump closed the markets for you. He cut you off from the world. And now he swoops in like a hero saying he's going to bail you out, but only gives you a quarter of what you expected. And the sad part of all this, I'm pretty sure the room temperature IQ farmers are going to call him the hero for stepping in.
For as long as the trade disputes go on, the need for aid likely increases.
Agricultural economist Chad Hart.
Right now you're looking at an ag downturn in combination with the government shutdown, in combination with the trade fight. So it all just kind of builds upon each other here to put a lot of pressure on agricultural producers.
And with soy and corn taking such a major hit, farmers here tell me it is only their cattle that is keeping them profitable. But with President Trump's new plans to import beef from Argentina, they say that they're worried that they may lose those profits as well. John?
Yep, cattle farmers are definitely next. What else does a U.S. farmer grow that might be next to join the I Got Screwed by Trump support group? I'm kind of curious. Tell me in the comments what other farming industries do you think could be next. Now I want to move on to the tourism articles that I wanted to share with you. Now I'm going to start with the article on whether or not the government should help U.S. tourism. Well, they're sure as hell not going to help right now. So before I even start summarizing for you, this idea is already dead in the water. I'm sure tourism for Trump is way down on his priority list. Actually, it might not even be on the list to begin with. Now, this article starts off by announcing that it's launched a new America is Beautiful ad campaign in Europe and Asia, trying to remind the world how great they think the US is. Where's Canada? How come there's no ads to Canada? Anyways, meanwhile, the group behind the campaign, Brand USA, I mentioned them in a previous video, just had its federal funding slashed by 80%. They're now begging Congress to put the money back while pretending everything is fine. They're hoping big events like the 250th anniversary of the US, the World Cup, and the LA Olympics will bring back tourists, but it's really just starting to look desperate. I have a question for our European and Asian viewers. Are you starting to see more ads saying come to the US for tourism? I'm interested and curious to see if you guys are, and whether or not it's actually working. So Brand USA was created back in 2010 under President Obama. It was supposed to promote America as a travel destination, a private and public partnership funded by visitor fees and big tourism names like Disney, Expedia, and Visit California. For a while, it actually did work. It brought in billions in spending and helped the industry bounce back from the recession. But fast forward to today, and Trump's team has slashed the fundings from $100 million a year to just $20 million. That's an 80% cut. And they already laid off staff and even shut down their streaming channel, Go USA TV. Now the lobbyists are scrambling to get the money back with a new bill that would restore all of Brand USA's matching funds. They're pointing out how 2022's version of the bill, the one that passed after the pandemic, brought in about $250 million and helped to restart international tourism in the US. Now this is just my opinion, but any effort that Brand USA makes to get their funding back, it's just going to be a waste of time. Their target audience, which is us, Canadians, and international tourists, we don't want to go back to the US, plain and simple. And there's no amount of marketing or freebies that's going to change our mind. Instead of fighting to get those funds back, Brand USA should be looking at the real problem, which is Trump and his regime. But honestly, I feel like Brand USA is a dead organization, at least for the duration of Trump's presidency. And now it even sounds like he's planning to stay past 2028. Holy shit, that's scary. But I'll save that part for another video. Only after that, when Trump is finally gone, Brand USA will have to do one massive push to rebuild America's reputation. And they're going to need the help from real leadership at the top to make this happen. Trump in his first term actually wanted to eliminate Brand USA completely. He planned to redirect the funds over to Customs and Border Protection. Because apparently, promoting tourism and scaring tourists at the border go hand in hand. But this time, in his 2026 budget request, he supposedly asked Congress to keep Brand USA funded. So which is it? Even his own administration doesn't seem to know what he wants. Then you got Senator Ted Cruz, another Republican, well, we know who he is, who decided to slash the budget anyways. Their excuse? They said the travel industry should promote itself, and that it doesn't need government help, and that federal tourism spending is obsolete and wasteful. Meanwhile, the travel industry fired back, and for once, they have actually hit a point. The U.S. Travel Association and companies like American Airlines, IHG Hotels, Marriott, Visit Austin, and Destination El Paso all signed a letter saying Brand USA gives unmatched value, no taxpayer money used, and for every dollar invested, it brings back $24. Sounds logical, doesn't it? Only Ted Cruz, in that mind of his, knows why he thinks it's not useful. But somehow, the right keeps giving this guy power to make decisions. And nothing's going to change, not until people like Ted Cruz, Ron DeSantis, and the rest of the Trump regime get voted out of office. So now even industry advocates admit the travel momentum is heading in the wrong direction. Well, of course it is. International spending in the US is expected to drop $169 billion this year, down from $181 billion last year, the first decline since the pandemic. And the US Travel Association flat out said, America is no longer the top destination for global travel. Has anyone ever watched that TV show, The Newsroom? It's that show with Jeff Daniels in it. There's a scene in one of the episodes where a college student asks the panel that was sitting up front and asked them, can you say why America is the greatest country in the world? Now, I know it's just a TV show, but what Jeff Daniels said in that episode, it speaks volumes over what's going on right now. I'm actually going to try to find a link for you guys, and I'll leave it in the description, but I highly recommend that you go watch it if you have not seen it. I'd love to show you guys now, but I will 100% get a copyright strike on it. But look for the link in the description below. Now back to the article. People around the world used to dream about visiting the US, and now they're choosing other countries. We've decided to keep our money at home, supporting local tourism instead. We're also supporting our allied nations. Their own report admits that 2018 was the peak and it never recovered. Now they're hoping that the World Cup, Olympics, and 250th anniversary will fix everything. But you can't advertise your way out of bad policies. Now until that changes, and how they treat travelers, that momentum is not going to come back. They claim the program brings in 1.6 million visitors and adds $6 billion in spending and supports nearly 80,000 jobs every single year. And while Brand USA is trying to keep the lights on, they say the ongoing talks with the White House and the Trump administration have been supportive. Then this article includes a statement from the White House Deputy Press Secretary Anna Kelly, and this statement right here is complete bullshit. President Trump has done more for American tourism than anyone, including making our cities safe and beautiful again for all to enjoy, and bringing major events like the Los Angeles Olympics and FIFA World Cup to the United States. God, I feel disgusting actually just reading that. She went on to say that the America First agenda has restored a country's place as a leader of the free world once again, making it the best place to live or visit. Yeah, fuck that. Because your tourism numbers are falling, your funding's been gutted, and more than half the Canadians say they won't cross the border. Calling America the best place to visit is complete bullshit. So my thoughts on this article? Brand USA is a dead government organization as long as Trump is in the office. I do give respect to the people trying to save it, but you're working against way too many factors here. And as one of the tourists you're trying to win back, fix the problem above you first. Only then I might consider returning, and that's a big might. Now the next article, titled Hug It Out, Canada is Ready to Welcome Americans Again. I'm not going to summarize this one for you, but you can check out the link in the description of this video. But I did want to talk about it because the article gives off a bit of US exceptionalism. It kind of paints a picture like Canadians were angry, had their elbows up, but now they folded and they're ready to accept the US back. That tone didn't sit right with me. From my point of view, and my opinion only, I never stopped wanting Americans to come to Canada. Ever since Trump started with the 51st state nonsense, my goal was simple. I was just not going to go to the US anymore. But I never said I don't want any US citizens coming to visit us. Okay, maybe not the ones that are wearing the red hats, but you get the picture. But aside from them, there are millions of US citizens who don't agree with their president, and some even boycotting their own country and vacationing in Canada to take a stand against Trump. I know many of you watching from the US might feel this way, and we've always been welcoming to the US citizens coming north, and I hope we continue to be. So take a moment to read this article when you can. It's in the description. But to my US viewers, from my point of view, you are always welcome to Canada. If you found this video helpful, hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps to get the message out to more people. And also share it with your friends too. And if you're still here and you want to see more of my videos, check out the other ones that are popping up on your screen now. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.